NASA has worked relentlessly for over 6 decades to uncover the mysteries of the universe. From the Apollo mission's moon landings to advanced rovers cruising on the Red Planet, they have captured some incredible footage. In these thrilling videos, you will witness mysteriously weird things that will leave you speechless, from rare lightning to Jupiter's artistic surface to strange sunsets on Mars. So buckle on and enjoy this cosmic trip as we uncover the mysteries of space, one breathtaking moment at a time. Let's get to it. Number 1. Mysteries Above. On October 7, 2014, astronauts Reid Wiseman from NASA and Alexander Gerst of ESA aboard the International Space Station conducted their first ever spacewalk, working on the space station's Quest airlock to relocate a failed cooling pump outside. Their spacewalk, lasting 6 hours and 13 minutes, was live streamed for all to see. But then, something unusual popped up in the background, catching everyone's attention. People were quick to label it as a UFO. Suspiciously, the hours-long stream was interrupted for 15 seconds just as the mysterious object appeared. Later, experts explained that the object was most likely a speck of dust or a lens flare from the sun. However, this explanation didn't put an end to the conspiracy theories, especially since, just within a month prior, a UFO-like gray object appeared on the horizon, and at that time, stream shut down as well, mentioning technical errors and then coming back up with a different camera angle. The perfect timing of these stream interruptions with mysterious sightings makes it hard to believe they were just coincidences. Some suggested it might be the moon, but let's not forget that the moon appears white when reflecting sunlight and black otherwise. This object displayed colors nothing like the moon. So where do you stand? Are these strange sightings just artifacts? Or is NASA keeping something about unidentified flying objects from us? Number 2. Cosmic Canvas. The largest planet in our solar system, with its iconic Great Red Spot, does more than just hanging out. It also protects the Earth by capturing or deflecting asteroids. It additionally keeps the planet's orbits in sync. It's no surprise that it's beloved by astronomy enthusiasts. In 2011, NASA launched the Juno spacecraft mission to get up close and personal with this behemoth of a planet. And JunoCam, a visible light camera, captured some jaw-dropping sights. I mean, the more you look at it, it makes you think that Van Gogh's Starry Night piece was inspired by Jupiter's surface. Juno discovered so much new information about Jupiter that it challenged many previously understood views. For example, it turns out that Jupiter's lightning is more similar to Earth's than imagined. But that is not all. One image that left everyone in disbelief was the eerie glow of green lightning emerging from a swirling vortex near Jupiter's North Pole. Turns out, these lightning shows are courtesy of water and ammonia clouds in Jupiter's atmosphere. What's truly mesmerizing about Jupiter is its ever-changing, dense and complex atmosphere. With storms popping up and fading away over time, it's like live art, constantly changing. Number 3. Solar Balloon. On March 2012, NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory telescope captured something that had everyone scratching their heads. In a time-lapse of telescope images, a shadowy object, seemingly the size of a big planet, appeared to form over the sun's atmosphere, also known as the corona. It then seemed to tether itself to the sun, giving it the appearance of a balloon tied to a string. Finally, the mysterious spherical object detached itself from the sun and shot out into space. Naturally, when something unusual pops up in space, UFO enthusiasts can't help but start making conspiracies. They were quick to label this sighting a UFO, suggesting it was refueling itself by sucking up the solar plasma. Some theorists had a different approach and proposed that this was the birth of a new planet. But it's actually a solar activity known as a prominence, something that is frequently observed but still not fully understood. Prominences are dense plasma loops that extend thousands of miles into space from the sun's surface. They appear dark in these images because the Solar Dynamics Observatory captures only a specific wavelength of light, which the plasma was absorbing. Not as exciting as a refueling UFO or the birth of a new planet, but hey, sometimes the truth is less flashy. Number 4. Moon Meteor. When meteors are on their way to Earth, Earth, they break down into smaller pieces upon entering our atmosphere. But our moon, with no protective atmosphere, is left vulnerable to these incoming space rocks, which crash onto its surface, creating explosions and forming craters. In 2005, NASA decided to monitor the moon for these frequent explosions, and 8 years later, in March 2013, they witnessed a flash that was about 10 times brighter than anything they had ever seen before. It was so intense that anyone looking at the moon at that moment could have witnessed it without needing a telescope. Scientists estimated that the meteoroid causing this explosion weighed in at around 40 kilograms and slammed into the lunar surface at a speed of 56,000 miles per hour. The impact resulted in an explosion with a force equivalent to about 5 tons of TNT, causing the collision to shine as bright as a 4th magnitude star. Interestingly, on the same night, NASA's all-sky cameras also captured various fireballs showing up across the Earth's night sky, suggesting that our planet was also being bombarded around the same time. Luckily for us, our atmosphere protected us from much of the damage. To think how many such meteors the moon has blocked for us is mind-boggling. Number 5. Lightning wonders. Did you know that our planet experiences an average of 44 billion lightning flashes each year? That's more than 40 lightning strikes per second. This natural phenomenon of discharging built-up electrical charge becomes even more mesmerizing when viewed from space, especially against the backdrop of the golden air glow and city lights. But there's something even rarer that's almost impossible to witness from the ground: blue jets and red sprites. These are also electrical discharges, but instead of striking downward like regular lightning, they shoot up into the sky. An astronaut on the International Space Station unintentionally recorded the blue jets on camera for the first time ever when he was recording a beautiful lightning storm over the Bay of Bengal. The blue jets erupt, forming a cone shape from the center of the storm. In the footage, one blue jet was seen reaching a staggering height of 40 miles above sea level. Red sprites, on the other hand, are like fleeting bursts, extending upwards from the tops of clouds into the mesosphere and can reach heights of up to 55 miles above Earth's surface. Number 6. Celestial wanderers. With a head and a graceful tail, celestial objects composed of ice, dust, and rocky particles, known as comets, make occasional appearances in our sky, typically every decade or so. Occasionally, these rocks leave their orbit when gravitational forces from other stars redirect their path, causing them to head towards the sun. Sometimes they get a big swing from the sun and are thrown back to their origin, while other times they are disintegrated by the sun. In 2011, while recording electrical storms from the International Space Station, Dan Burbank witnessed Comet Lovejoy with its long, green, glowing tail. Watching this celestial spectacle, similar to a paused shooting star, was remarkable enough. But what surprised NASA even more was that Comet Lovejoy managed to get exceptionally close to the sun and survive its encounter. Footage recorded by the Solar Dynamics Observatory captured Comet Lovejoy wiggling its tail in a highly unusual manner within the sun's corona before making its escape. Number 7. Martian sunset. The breathtaking sunsets on our beautiful Earth paint our skies in stunning hues of oranges and reds, while midday brings a calm blue. But did you know that Mars presents a completely opposite phenomenon? The thinner atmosphere of the red planet, consisting mainly of carbon dioxide and iron dust, scatters high wavelength light more effectively, resulting in a red appearance during the day. However, when the sun nears the horizon on Mars, the Martian sky is left with smaller wavelength lights, creating a blue haze. This footage was captured by NASA's Mars rover Perseverance, showcasing this unusual yet remarkable phenomenon. Number 8. Aurora Symphony. Auroras are like nature's own colorful curtains, ribbons, and spirals dancing across the sky. They are majestic to witness, but seeing them light up the poles of Earth from space, that's a whole new level of unreal. NASA once recorded something that's just mind-boggling. While one end of the globe was covered in a green hue by the auroras, the other side, which was initially dark, started to light up as the sun rose, quickly turning the sky blue. These two lights meeting each other give off vibes of some abstract art that truly deserves a spot in a museum. Number 9. Wildfire rage. It is more than evident now how global warming and climate change are problems affecting the whole world. And one of the problems caused by climate change is conditions getting hotter and drier, making trees and bushes more prone to drying out and becoming fuel for the fire. In 2023, Canadian wildfires ravaged an estimated 18.4 million hectares, impacting all provinces of the country. These wildfires were not only visible from space, but the smoke from the fires could also be seen traveling to the USA. This smoke created a thick orange haze across a few states of the USA, leading to visibility and respiratory problems for many. Number 10. Eclipse and transit. A solar eclipse is one of the most magnificent astronomical events that we, as ordinary humans, can experience. The sun and moon appear almost the same size in our sky because the sun is roughly 400 times larger than our moon and also about 400 times farther away. So when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, it blocks the sun's light, giving us amazing views of a chipped sun during a partial eclipse, or if you're really lucky, a total eclipse, showcasing the stunning ring of fire effect. Eclipses may look kind of spooky from the perspective of the International Space Station, as the moon's shadow casts a dark patch on Earth that can resemble the aftermath of some great devastation. But fear not, we know that people in that shadowy area are likely enjoying the sight of this incredible event. Now let's talk about 2017, when NASA had its telescope set on the sun to record the eclipse in great detail. It captured something quite interesting. As the moon made its way across the sun, a tiny dot could be seen moving across the sun's surface. Before you start thinking about UFOs, let me stop you right there. That was none other than the International Space Station making its transit across the sun. It's as if the ISS is showing off, proving that after the moon, it's the next coolest thing orbiting our planet. Number 11, Mars's dust dance. Isn't it just super cool when you stumble upon a harmless little dust devil? These mini whirlwinds happen because the radiant heat from sunlight heats up the air near the planet's surface. As this hot air rises, cooler air sinks, creating instability and constant movement that picks up dust particles, forming these dust devils. On the surface of the red planet Mars, these dust devils are very frequent, with millions occurring each day. But unlike those on Earth, Martian dust devils are bigger, stronger, and can reach heights of several kilometers. They can continue from a few minutes to a few hours, but they are not as threatening as they may appear, especially when compared to Martian dust storms. Now, Martian dust storms? Those are a whole different story. Even with a thin atmosphere, these storms are so severe that they can darken the skies during the day. What's even scarier is that they can last for weeks to months and engulf the entire planet. NASA released comparative footage from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter showing Mars before and after a dust storm. It's pretty wild to see how the once detailed features of the red planet were completely obscured by the storm, leaving behind a hazy, featureless landscape. Number 12. Moving meteors. Car collisions are common, but what about satellites? This footage shows a NASA satellite crashing into a meteor millions of miles out in space. Now, this was no accident. NASA did this on purpose to slightly change the path of the meteor. The mission was a resounding success, marking the first step of humanity in protecting our home planet from stray asteroids by rerouting their trajectory. Number 13. Earth's beauty. Everyone enjoys watching the fiery orange balls set on the horizon or rise out of it, but if only humans could see Earth from the outside, they would truly understand the beauty of their planet. This is the video created from a series of image data from LRO capturing the stunning rise of Earth. Perhaps this footage gives us a sneak peek into what the camera roll of those residing in colonies on the moon might look like. Number 14. Solar tantrums. Our beloved star sure knows how to throw a tantrum. I mean, with all those atomic explosions happening beneath its surface, it's understandable. Sometimes from the surface of the sun, there are intense and sudden bursts of energy that shoot from the sun's atmosphere into space called solar flares. These aren't just light shows, they are coronal mass ejections, or CMEs, massive solar material being ejected, carrying with them immense amounts of radiation and charged particles. And when one of these CMEs is headed our way, they can wreak havoc on our satellites and disrupt communication systems. But as we've discussed before, they also give us those dazzling auroras. So, getting a close-up view of the cause of those beautiful lights is truly remarkable. And just for reference, these eruptions observed by NASA's SDO have the height of multiple Earths combined. Number 15. Martian mysteries. Perseverance, NASA's youngest rover on Mars, landed on the Martian surface on February 18, 2021, and has since made exciting findings while exploring Jezero crater for clues of ancient life on Mars. The delta-like surface suggests that around 3.5 billion years ago, a river flowed into Jezero crater, forming a lake. In June 2022, Perseverance returned the most detailed image yet, consisting of 2.5 billion pixels and focusing on the sedimentary rocks. Scientists made some intriguing observations about the Martian surface. Initially, an odd-looking rock caught attention, resembling the head of an ancient animal statue. However, this was described as a case of pareidolia, a psychological phenomenon in which humans sense recognizable patterns, such as faces or objects, in seemingly random things, such as finding figures in clouds. But what followed was genuinely bizarre, devoid of any psychological factors. A small rock was observed balanced atop a larger rock. This occurrence puzzled many, but scientists provided an explanation, suggesting that extensive wind or chemical erosion had carved the rock, creating the illusion of balance. So, rather than a naturally balanced rock, it was simply a result of geological processes over time. Number 16. Alien mob. On July 13, 2021, the people who were watching NASA's live stream from the International Space Station, where it was streaming from a camera strapped on the satellite, broadcasting footage to its inky black surroundings, spotted something unexplainable. A lot of lights just randomly moving in space. The footage began circulating on the internet, sparking speculation about whether it captured a whole fleet of aliens on camera. The confusion continued to spread, but soon experts stepped in to solve the mystery. They revealed that this was no alien fleet, but rather something to do with human activity. It turns out that the glowing orbs were most likely fishermen using bright xenon bulbs to lure Japanese flying squids. Number 17. Lunar legacy. Since the Apollo 17 mission in 1972, it's been 5 decades since any humans set foot on the moon's surface. So do you think their footprints are still there? If the moon had weather conditions like Earth's, where the environment is constantly changing with winds, rain, and floods, those footprints would have disappeared long ago. But the moon lacks these characteristics. Plus, its water is frozen, and its volcanoes have been dormant for well over 50 million years. So, the footprints of the 12 astronauts who walked on the moon's surface, along with the tracks of the rovers driven there, are still intact after decades. Data from NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, a spacecraft busy orbiting and mapping the moon, shows them remarkably preserved. Will they remain there forever? Well, the moon's surface is frequently hit by meteoroids, which do alter its surface, along with solar winds. So over time, the surface of the moon will change, eventually wiping out these prints of human expeditions. But even that process will take a few million years. Isn't that cool? Number 18. Hayabusa re-entry. Shooting stars aren't actually stars, but rather meteorites burning up upon entering the Earth's atmosphere. But why does this happen? If your answer is air friction, you're partially right, but there's more to it. It's actually due to a compression of air caused by ram pressure. When an object at a fast speed enters the Earth's atmosphere, it begins to compress the air in front of it. This compression generates heat and creates a high-pressure shockwave. As a result, the meteoroid or any object entering heats up to around 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, turning into vapor. Sometimes, if the meteoroids are large enough, they can break apart, creating a fiery spectacle. Although these phenomena are often caused by space rocks entering the Earth's atmosphere, every once in a while, it's a totally human-made show, just like the one captured by NASA aboard the DC-8 Airborne Laboratory. They recorded Japan's spacecraft Hayabusa returning to Earth after its 1.25 billion miles long journey to collect samples from Comet Itokawa. The Hayabusa, traveling at very high speeds, began to burn and then broke apart, illuminating the sky. But what about the samples? Well, they were safeguarded by a heat shield and made it safely back to Earth for scientists to analyze. Number 19. Aerial adventures. Perseverance didn't journey to Mars alone, it also carried Ingenuity in its belly. This is the video footage of the first ever aircraft to take off and land over the surface of another planet. What's truly remarkable is that Mars's atmosphere is incredibly thin, so managing to make a drone fly there shows remarkable advancements in engineering and the extensive research conducted to accomplish this extraordinary feat. Thanks to ingenuity, we get to see an aerial view of Mars, but what it found on its 26th flight is truly shocking. It captured the crashed back shell on the Martian surface and the parachute from the descent stage. It's quite remarkable that humans managed to litter another planet before even visiting it. But hey, it's all in the name of science. Number 20, free flight. One of NASA's most iconic pictures captures an astronaut floating with Earth beneath him and nothing around. Let's dive into how that picture came to be. On February 7, 1984, astronaut Bruce McCandless did something never done before. He ventured outside of the space shuttle without being tethered to anything but a new 300-pound manned maneuvering unit, a jetpack powered by nitrogen. This was no easy feat. Bruce made it look effortless, but any mishap could have left him floating in the cosmos forever. Yet, his confidence remained unshaken as he moved around with the jetpack for over 4 hours. Imagine floating around with nothing but emptiness around you, watching yourself drift farther from the shuttle. It must have been surreal. But Bruce managed it, becoming the man in one of NASA's most iconic pictures of all time. This wraps up our journey through some unbelievable and fascinating footage recorded by NASA, leaving viewers truly astonished. What do you think about these amazing clips? Did you have a favorite? Let me know in the comments. While you are commenting, do hit the like button. If you want to see more of these videos coming your way, subscribe to our channel and let us know what you want to see next. Until then, goodbye.